Hi everyone, welcome to another activity at OIC, International Organization of Consensual Therapy. Welcome everyone, my name is Bruna Seibel. I'm a consensual therapist and also a volunteer at OIC, the International Organization of Consensual Therapy. And today we're gonna have our free lecture named Self-Cure and Self-Conscientiotherapy. Before we start, we would like to tell you some important warning. So OIC activities do not replace or eliminate potential medical or psychological needs. We recommend, whenever it proves necessary, to seek out qualified health professionals for the specific attendances accredited by official boards. OIC does not indicate nominatively any specialist. We always start with the disbelief principle. So it means that we don't want you to believe in anything that we are talking to you, not even here in this activity. We encourage you to have your own experiments. So the best is to perform personal, repeated, and self-critical research on the topics under analysis. So consensual therapy is an expertise field from conscientiology, and conscientiology is a science based on Professor Osvaldo Vieira ideas, and we are based on the consensual paradigm, which means that we have some different pillars that we understand science. And I'm going to explain in the next slide. So, like conscientiology at all, consensual therapy is a therapeutic approach under the focus of this paradigm. And this consensual paradigm is based on these 5 pillars. So, it's a multidimensional science, which means that we understand that we have different dimensions and we are manifesting our consciousness in different dimensions. The bioenergetics, so energy is a reality. Everything has energy, even us, even consciousness. The consensual therapy is based on the evolution of the consciousness. So we understand that we made this evolution in different dimensions and in exchanging of energies. And these energies can be the immanent energy that comes from the nature, the cosmos, or can be the consensual energy that also still has an identity, the consciousness identity. Another pillar is the multivacularity. So we understand that besides this body, we also have different bodies, different vehicles of manifestation. So we have the soma, the body, the physical body. We have the energosoma, is the body of energies. The psychosomatic soma is the body of emotions. And the mental soma, the body of ideas, the thoughts. We have also the multi-existential idea, which means that we are evolving as consciousness in different existentialities, different lives, intraphysical lives, and in the intermissions. What is the difference? So intraphysical lives is lives that we have a body, a soma, and intermission is the period of time that we don't have a physical body, but we are still having experiences in different dimensions. And the cosmoethics is cosmic and ethic, so it's wider, it's more complex than our human ethics. Next. So consensual therapy is based on a cycle, the consensual therapeutic cycle, and is self-applied. So today we're going to talk about how to do this self-application and the relationship with self-cure. The self-consensual therapy is based on this cycle. So we start with the self-investigation. The self-investigation is the moment when we look the intra-consensual universe that we are, and we observe it and see what's going on, how we are manifesting, how we are exchanging energies, how are our pattern of consciousness. So after investigate, we are the researcher, and we also are the object of research. After this, we can define a self-diagnosis, which means that we are going to define what are the pathologies, what is the disease that we need to confront, that we need to change. So it can be a difficulty, a weak trait. It can be some aspect of our temperament, some behave, some situation with someone else, and we diagnose it, and after we confront it. So the self-confrontation is the moment when we're gonna apply techniques, resources to change it, and after to overcome it. So this consensual therapeutic cycle is nurturing our evolution, because when we apply this cycle, we are investigating, diagnosing, confronting, and overcoming aspects that we need to change, we need to be better. And when we finish this cycle, we gain energy to do another cycle. And this constantly application will promote self-cure, as we're going to talk later. So the self-consciential therapy is the systematic self-application of Olosomatic and pluri-existential self-investigation, aiming to establish self-diagnosis, to promote self-confrontation, and to reach self-overcoming of consensual pathologies and parapathologies. So we're going to talk about multiple vehicular, multiple existential, the bioenergetic. So our conscientiousness is very complex. And because of this, we can't only see the pathologies that involves only the body. We need to take a look at the parapathologies. So which traits we're gonna developing through time, through different existentialities, with what kind of temperament, of what kind of patterns I'm going to assume through different lives. How are my holosoma? How are my body, my energosoma, my psychosoma, and my mental soma? So we should have parapathologies associated with all this reality. Next, please. So the consciousness is the therapist of themselves. This idea is very interesting because, as I told you before, we are the researcher and we also are the object of research, the lab, the conscious lab. So we need to take a look at how we are as a consciousness, and only us can do these changes. Only us can promote these changes. So this is the idea that we are the therapists of ourselves. And the constant self-application of consensual therapeutic cycle promotes the self-cure. So once we observe that we need to change some trait, some weak trait, for example, I am very disorganized, so I need to take a look on this and try to understand what's going on, and diagnose it, and then promote the confrontation. So I'll develop techniques and resources to confront it and to overcome it. And I am promoting self-cures. And the sum, the add of different self-cures promotes our evolution. Next. So self-cure is the personal bioenergetic remission of disturbances and pathologies in general of the consciousness. This is very complex if we consider the consensual paradigm. So we now understand that this is not our first life. We understand that we are not having only one vehicle, one soma. We are multiple vehicles. We understand that we are following the Cosmoethics, so it's the intentionality of the best for everyone, for the whole cosmos. So all these ideas show us that the self-cure is a bunch of different cycles of self-consciential therapeutic cycles that we need to face. So strictly speaking, no conscience, no intraphysical consciousness has achieved complete self-cure. So if we have one more life with a body, with a soma, we still need to do changes. We still need to recycle. And then we still need to promote self-cures. Individual traits or some relationship that's not very well, a context that we need to promote self-cure. So these relationships can also brings us information about us and about what kind of recycling that we need to do. So self-cure is the mother of all therapies. Um, we respect all the therapies, but we understand that the self-cure, to promote self-cure, to apply the self-consciential therapy cycle, is the mother of all the therapies. This idea of self-cure is very important to understand because this is one of the principles of the consensual paradigm, that nobody cures another and only self-cure exists. So we understand that only us can promote the self-cure, and we are not responsible for the cure of another people. We are responsible for healthy relationships, for interessentiality, but we are only responsible for our self-cure. And once we promote self-cure, we are also doing interessentiality, because we are developing, we are getting better, and we can help other people in other contexts, including the multidimensional contexts, to be better. So we need to be concerned about our self-cure first. And self-cure begins with self-diagnosis of consensual pathologies and parapathologies. So we can't promote self-cure if we don't recognize ourselves, if we don't look at who we are as consciousness. Because we need first to understand our weak traits, our strong traits, our temperament, how we are dealing with struggles, how we are dealing with relationships and people. And then we can see what's going on and do a more specific diagnosis, and then we're gonna know how to confront it. Because if we don't know our disease, we are not know what kind of medicine we need to take. So the self-diagnosis promotes our understanding of the next steps, the self-confrontation and the self-overcoming. So the more self-conscientiality, the more self-cure, and vice versa. The more we know us, we understand our intra-consensual universe, the more we're gonna know what to do with it and what to change, and vice versa. So once we are self-curing one trait, for example, we're gonna better understand who we are. There's a verbet of Professor Valdo Vieira, the author of Conscientiology, that calls anti-cure. The anti-cure is the pathological act or effect of a conscience avoiding to self-cure or to reject the resources to overcome some disease. So you can ask, why a consciousness would avoid or reject the resources to self-cure? There are some pseudo gains, there are some patterns that it's difficult for us to waive, to leave, to let it go. The self-victimization is a pattern that is really hard to deal with, because being a victim is not intelligent. If you take a look at the developing, the evolving of the consciousness. So no one is a victim at all. We are in a process of developing, and if we are suffering something, it's important to understand what kind of change I need to do. And we're back. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so I was telling you about the self-victimization. So when we are victims, when we have this kind of posture as a victim, we are trying to find excuses and trying to see the responsibility of things that is going on external to you. So it's important to see what you can change, what is your responsibility. The self-victimization can maintain you in a position that you avoid the self-cure because you are complaining, because you are seeing the responsibility of things external to you. The self-corruption as well. So the self-corruption is connected to the pseudo gains. So if we have pseudo gains, for example, I understand that I am disorganized, but I have pseudo gains. For example, someone else organize it for me, or I can have excuses to assume some responsibility. So this kind of pseudo gains promotes self-corruption. So I know that I need to change something. I know the resources to apply. I know that I can do this modification, but I am still behaving the same way. I'm still reproducing, making again the same thing. The Thosenic self-intoxication. So Thosen is a neologism of conscientiology that means that the thoughts, the sentiments, and the energy is one thing. It's going together. So once I have a thought, I have a similar sentiment and I have a similar energy. And the Thosenic self-intoxication is when I have a Thosen that is toxic. So about myself, the self-intoxication. So I think that I don't deserve, that I'm not so good, that I can't do something. And this thought produce a similar sentiment and energy, and I intoxicate myself with this Thosen. So this kind of intoxication paralyzes me. I can't do a change. I can make a change if I keep being intoxicated by my own Osen. And the apathy is the lack of energy. So I am losing energy with some disease, or even with self-corruption, with self-victimization, with the intoxication. I am losing my energy, and then I don't have the energy to apply the consensual therapeutic cycle. So Professor Valdo Vieira used to say that the self-intrusion is the worst disease of the humanity. The self-intrusion is when we have, as I told you, thought sense against myself. So I am being intrusive with myself. And when I'm being intrusive with myself, I am allowing to to suffer intrusion from other consciousness, other consciences, for example. So extra dimensional consciousness. So the self-cure of self-intrusion is the matrix of false self and hetero de-intrusive therapy. So we need to begin by cutting this self-intrusion. So we need to begin changing our thought sense about ourselves. And then we are breaking a cycle of intrusion, self-intrusion and hetero-intrusion. And when we do this, we can optimize another self-cures. The hetero-intrusion happens when consciences make intrusion. So they are being nurtured by our intrusion. They are connected to this pattern of energy. So once we break this cycle, we are allowing these consciences also to evolve. We have in the OIC a consensual therapist named Maximiliano Hyman, and he wrote a book called The Intrusive Self-Prescription. And in this book, he cite some prescriptions, some resources and techniques that we can apply to promote the intrusion. Next. So we have some optimizer attitudes that predispose the self-cure. One of them is the openness. The openness is to be open to different experiences, to be open to different ideas, and to exchange ideas in your relationships and in your contexts, and even in multidimensionality. The assistentiality, we understand that interassistentiality is what promotes evolving. So if you are assistential, if you care about people, about different groups of people, and if you make changes in the context that you are, this is an optimizer attitude also to self-cure. So this is a paradox. You are helping people and you are helping yourself to develop. The self-control, so it's important to regulate all our manifestation, so not only the soma, but also our energies, our emotions, and our ideas. The de-intrusiveness, so the capacity of breaking this cycle of intrusion. The de-repression, so it's the idea of not being pressured by ideas that not allow you to manifestate all the whole consciousness that you are. Being an epicone, so an epicenter, and consensual epicenter. So being an epicone is to be a leader whenever you are and what you are doing. You can be a leader of assistentiality. You can be an epicenter of what you are doing. The homeostasis, so it's important to being equilibrate, to being healthy in your thought sense. The mental somatic, it's to apply the rationality, to apply the ideas, mostly instead of your emotions. So the mental somatic is very important, even to regulate and to understand your emotions. The neophilia, it's the idea to be open to new ideas, to the new. The parasepsis is to the capacity to do the hygiene of your context and of your energies. So once we are exchanging energies all the time, it's important to clean your energies, and important to clean the energies in the space that you are. The thought sanity, so it's the idea of maintain your thought sense in healthy and in a high quality. And Penta is one of our techniques. It's a technique that we apply every day, applying interassistentiality, multidimensional assistentiality. Also, it's important to nurture the cosmoethics by eliminating your self-guilt. So self-guilt is not it's not intelligent for the development. So the guilty is a trait that paralyzes you because you don't know what to do with it. The guilty is something that we need to change for responsibility. The installation of vibrational state. The vibrational state is an energetic technique. So we need to apply to better the energies and to make better our flow of energies. And also in the assimilation and de-assimilation, when we are interacting, we are exchanging energies, and this is healthy. But but once it finish, we need to clean it and to de-assimilate. So it's important to apply the vibrational state. And the inner spring is the idea to make this prophylaxis of mini intrusions every day. So 24 hours a day, we are struggling situations, and we need to be prophylactic to not intoxicate ourselves with these mini intrusions. So here we list some techniques that we use to prescribe and we use to apply in a consensual therapeutic cycle. So we begin with some techniques that are connected to the first steps of that cycle that I present to you. So the Olosomatic Checkup technique. This technique is important to observe our bodies, our somas. So the holosoma, it's important to question yourself: how's my body now? How's my energies? How's my emotions? How's my thoughts? And then we can map what's going on in all the vehicles in different situations. The Osen checkup technique, it's similar, but here we are going to take a look at our Osens. What I am thinking, what I am feeling, and what kind of energies I am producing. The pseudogenes identification technique. So the pseudogenes in the identification, it's very important, mainly when we want to understand the self-corruption. So what kind of pseudogenes I am maintaining with these situations? What I don't want to waive. So I need to note what kind of pseudogenes do I still have by maintaining the disorganization, by maintaining certain behavior. The Malaise investigation technique, it's also interesting. You can note when you feel bad in your day by day. So the Malaise investigation helps you to understand what kind of situation generates malaise in you. So it's certain people, it's certain situation, it's a relationship that makes me feeling bad. So this kind of investigation helps you to understand what will be your diagnosis. Here we have a question. Can you explain how an inner spring helps or works? Yeah, the inner spring is the idea to maintain your energies in a healthy pattern. So when you are assimilating and de-assimilating in an inadequate way, when you are careful about your holosoma, when you are nurturing the existentiality, you are also being in a inner spring. So the inner spring is the healthier state of your energies. And then you can have thoughts and feelings connected with it. I don't know if I was clear to respond, but I can answer later. So another techniques that can help you now with the self-confrontation and with the self-overcoming is the action by the little things technique. So now you have the investigation and the diagnosis, and we're going to confront it. The action by the little things is to understand that actually we have a lot of different self-cures to do. We have different traits and different situations to overcome. And then we need to start by the little steps. We're gonna select one little thing to start the change. So I understand that I need to be better in my time management. So I'm gonna start by waking up earlier. It's a little step, but it will help me to manage my time better, and my routine will be useful. The action by the priorities technique. So it's similar, but here we are going to choose a priority. So I understand that I have lots of things to change in my consciousness, but I will select one trait. So I think the priority is to be more organized, and then this will be my priority, and I will apply the techniques to overcome it. And the continuous self-vigilance technique. This is very useful because to maintain the self-overcoming, it's important to be vigilant all the time. Consider that some traits, some weak traits are strong traits, but here we are talking about disease. Consider that your diseases can be developed through different lives. So we are doing the same mistake over time, and now I want to change it, but it will be slowly. It will be step by step. So it's natural that sometimes I would make the same mistake. So I need to be constantly vigilant to applicate the techniques and overcome it. Could you explain how Penta can improve self-cure? So Penta is a technique that we use to produce interessentiality, every day. So we choose an hour of a day. We're gonna have a different space. We have actually a book of Professor Valdo Vieira that explained better the technique. So when we apply this technique, we are connected to the cosmoetics. We are connected with the multidimensionality to exchange energies and promote interessentiality. So when we are, as I explained before, when we are giving something from us to others, we are promoting assistentiality, but also we are promoting self-cure, because nobody developed alone. We are developing together in group. So once we are promoting development of other conscientiousness, we are developing us. And when we are connected to the multidimensionality, we also have more resources to better understand our intra-consensual universe. So we can better understand how's our relationship with the cosmos, with other consciousness. And we have more information about ourselves, and it helps us to define other diagnoses to promote self-cure. And how we identified self-overcoming indicators of a certain trait. Can you give an example? That's a very good question. And we have some other techniques to identify these indicators. But for example, if you need to overcome a trait of anger, for example, I'm very irritating. So I realize that in 24 hours of my day, I spend 10 hours irritating myself with different things, with myself, with my routine, with other people. So when I begin with this diagnosis, I can do a checkup technique, a Olosomatic checkup technique, a Thosenic checkup technique, and understand what patterns are nurturing this kind of behavior, what kind of energy, what kind of thoughts I have, what kind of situations I am being more irritated. So I define a technique to confront it. So in this situation with this person that I used to be irritated, I will change my thoughts. It's another technique that it is explained in our website. So I chose to change my thought. So instead of think that this person is irritating myself, I will change it and choose to think about, for example, his strong traits. So I can see in this person that he's a leader, that he's communicating well, and in this way, I am connecting with a different pattern of Thosen. I am connecting with the strong traits. So I am being more assistential. And in this way, I can reduce my irritation. So through time, I can map my irritation. So before, I was spending 10 hours a day being irritated. And in this situation with this person, I realized that I am not irritating anymore. So this is an indicator. And this indicator makes me stronger, gives me more energy to overcome another traits or another situations that I am being irritated. I don't know if I'm clear. Please let me know, okay? So finishing this lecture, I will explain a little bit about the OIC. So we are a consensual-centric institution, non-profit, is based on volunteer work, is parascientific and non-politic. We work with this specific field that is consensual therapeuticology, the specialty. We work with research, clarification, and dissemination of the specialty, and it was founded in 2003. Here is our group of volunteers, not all of them. So we have some online activities. This free lecture occurs once a month in English. And another online activities that we are offering in our website, one of them is the Self-Conscientiotherapy Consultation. We have some spots for consultation in English. It's a personalized online meeting with two consensual therapists, and it's an individual meeting. So you can bring things that you believe you need to confrontate and to overcome, and we can help you to apply the self-consensual therapeutic cycle. We also have a whole English website, so you can find in our website some articles and some other materials in English, and you can find it in this website. And here is our website, other social media, other contacts that you can note. You will be very welcome in all our activities, the online activities, and after the pandemic finish, the other activities in Foz do Iguaçu, in São Paulo, in Rio de Janeiro, and in Porto Alegre also. So thank you very much. Welcome again, and please feel free to send your ideas, to send your questions, and to contact us. Thank you.